for me, I got that desire as, yeah, I think it was like 4 months ago. I came up to you guys with like the question about spiritual depression, and doing many works through that. I just realized that I was creating my own hell, actually. And it's almost like you put yourself in a box, and actually since the beginning, nothing ever really happens to you. But it's almost like you said, you attract those bad things to you because you believe in them. And that creates that kind of personal hell, but actually, yeah, reality is perfect. And maybe like the second question that I have is that I sensed a little fear of the question of Rachel when it was about, can you trigger something bad again? And I was like, oh yeah, if I'm honest, maybe like a little percentage in me is still not fully settled in that new truth of, yeah, I'm not this separate self, and might still feel like afraid to, oh, what if I have that unconscious belief that will attract something quote unquote negative to me again? And if it is, how can I spot it ahead to diffuse it before it happens, if you know what I mean?
Mhm. So is that your question of how can I spot it and diffuse it
Yeah,
before it happens?
yeah.
Well, the harsh answer might be just that you either will or you won't, you know?
Yes.
So in a sense, there's nothing you can do to stop yourself from manifesting it if it's going to happen. The deeper truth is, can I be so aware of who I really am? Can I just practice the awareness of who I really am to such an extent that whatever appears on the screen of the person's life, on the movie that's playing, is of no consequence to me anymore? Like, hey, if we need to go through some challenging life circumstances, no problem. I know that what I am is not affected by it. So let's go. There's going to be great lessons here to be learned. A lot of expanding and healing can be done. So I welcome that. You can practice living from that state of consciousness. That's the I am state. Remember, it's a fearless, desireless state of being. When you're actually living from the place of I am, like I know that what I am is fundamentally that principle itself. I am that pure consciousness, that pure existence, then you will feel absolutely no fear from that place. And you will also feel no desires, no attachments to anything, because you can't want anything once you really know who you are. And this is
Mm.
the key to the I am state. Everyone's looking for something, right, in the world. Everybody wants to find the next thing that's going to fulfill them, achieving great dreams or experiencing great pleasures and whatnot. And when I wrestled with those desires and fears for so long, I got to this point where it was like, look, I've already done all that. I've already achieved great dreams in my life. I've already experienced great pleasures in the world, and none of those things made me any happier. So I got really convinced, and this was the cause of the depression at first, was that I was fully convinced in myself that there's nothing in the world that can make me happy. And when my ego had that truth, it turned it into, weaponized it into depression of, oh, then now there's nothing to live for. And as I was working through that, there was something in me that knew there is a reason to live. There is a reason to be alive and to love life. Of course there is. Why would an infinitely intelligent source create a universe just to experience endless hopelessness and despair? It didn't make sense to me. There is a truth I'm missing here. What is it? And it was when I got to the point where I started saying, what if I just give everything away then? Just throw away the whole world in my mind. There's nothing in the world I want. There's no pleasure that's interesting at all to me. I could care less about what's even happening in the world. Like there's nothing out there for me. What if I could just be satisfied with the knowledge that I am? That was a radical, bold thought that happened within me at a certain point. What if just knowing I exist? What if that's enough? Can the fact that I exist be enough to satisfy my soul and to quench this deep longing I feel every day? And so after enough time contemplating this question, I began to discover that it was enough. That just the simple fact of knowing I am, and that can't be debated, it can't be taken from me, it can't be changed at all. That was enough. And it became more than enough as time went on, because what I am will reveal to you if you stay with it and just let your center of your sense of self be from that place. I exist. Does anyone doubt I exist? Can anyone show me evidence to the contrary? Didn't think so. So that's the fact of what I am. I am. Now, what that will start to show you as you stay with it is that everything else in the universe is also I am. Every galaxy, every multiverse, everything in creation is vibrating to the tune of I am. And so there's this natural knowledge that will bubble up in you, very effortless, very joyful, very childlike. It feels very simple that because I am my being, I share my being with all of reality. Like you just get that on a deep primordial level. The child in you just like this new beautiful truth it just discovered. Like the story I've told of the child looking at the butterfly. That was how God showed itself to me. That's how we see that truth. It's like, oh, I didn't realize until now. It's very childlike. You just know at a cellular level that you share your existence with all of existence. So whatever is included in that infinite existence is the infinite, right? If I'm part of the infinite, I am the infinite. There's no other option. It's a simple equation. Once I really found out I exist beyond doubt, then I could see these truths much more easily and then live from the place where these truths are very obvious and simple. And in fact, you start to go, how is everyone not seeing this? Like, how is this not the most obvious thing to everybody? You exist, of course you do, then your existence. It's like it's so close to us that it's hard to see it. Like the fish in the water example. It's so near to us that we just look right past it all the time. And I'm a person, I'm separate, I'm an individual, I'm distinct, I'm different. And we overlook the sameness, the obvious truth of our oneness with all that is. So I say all that to give you a helpful barometer of this is what the I am state feels like. It's a feeling because it's a state of being. You may notice even that a certain fear might arise in the mind. I'm not saying that in the I am state, a fearful thought may not come up, but there's so much distance between you and that thought because you're just living from a rock solid center of I am. So the I am just sees the fearful thought and goes, I didn't know that fearful thought was in me. I am. Oh, there's a little feeling of fear coming up. I didn't know that fear was in me until now. I am. The truth of I am is all you need. It's the only answer you need for any question that may come up. So it's fearless and it's desireless. To me, that's, at least at this point, it's the best way I've found to express what the frequency of the I am state feels like.
To be honest, nothing more to add. This is so good. I could literally cry of tears of joy. This is massive. Yeah.
The truth resonates, huh?
Yeah. This is so powerful. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think I must watch the replay again. I absolutely loved it. But it's exactly how it feels. Is that you lodge yourself in that I am, and you still see that thought arising, but that truth of existence on its own is just so powerful that you just can't consume it by any kind of fears or whatever. So yeah.
Yes, because the I am has never been conditioned. You know what I mean? It's the I am, the truth of consciousness and existence that you are, has never been conditioned by the mind to think it's separate or to be afraid. So when you realize I am, what would be a good analogy for this? It's okay, this is what's coming through. So here we go. You know those jawbreaker candies, where you suckle them long enough and you go through the different layers of the candy, and each layer is a different color and stuff. And then when you get to the center of the candy, it's like pure red or blue or whatever the color is. You know, you've gotten to the center once you stop seeing the gradations of colors in the Jawbreaker. So it's like at the core of your being, at the center of your being is the I am. It's never been in the pink, yellow, green, blue layers. You know what I mean? Those are outside of what it is. It's prior to the thoughts, the conditioning, the thinking, the feeling. So when you realize that core, which has always been there, which you're not making it true because you realize it, right? Then of course there still will be conditioning that will come up, because the I am's never been the conditioning. So it's not like the conditioning will go away when you see the I am, as if you're healing the I am. Now the I am can't think a thought anymore or have a distortion. No, the I am never did have it. It's the conditioned computer program of the mind that has it, and you were just wrongly identified. So yes, you'll still see thoughts. Old conditioning patterns will still come up when you're operating from that state of being. The difference is now you're not lost. Now you're not confused about where that's coming from. It's instantly recognized as an old pattern. And really, that's all we have to do, right? Is if we really see something for what it is, it loses all of its power. It just drops away because we're not fueling it anymore with identity, with attention. It's like, oh, there's that old pattern coming up in the mind again. And it just sucks all the air out of the balloon.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. I'm all set. Yes, that was amazing. Yeah.
Awesome, brother.
I'm so grateful to be here because the calls, they are amazing, and I'm just getting so much out of it. So because I was really sick today, and I was almost about not coming today, and I was like, I still feel like somehow I had to join, and I'm like, yep, I had to join. It was awesome.
Hey, you were being lived, huh?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Well, I think you'll see in the chat, Fabrice, that we are also very thankful for your presence in this community. So thank you for
nice. Thank you.